Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here with a very special Valentine's Day episode where we're going to take a look at Death Betty. We're going to look at the posters and prints we've made. We're going to hear the history of them and the character. We'll even take a look at the original Zero issue that I had printed up a few years ago and get to the story behind that. Alright, sit back and enjoy. Alright, thanks everybody. So, Death Betty. Yeah, it all started back in 2012. I had done an illustration based on Madman. I'd done a gender swap, done sort of a female Madman character, listed on DeviantArt. I didn't really do much pinup art at the time or ever. I just thought that this would be sort of a fun image to do. And then a former mentor of mine, Billy Brackage, artist out of Austin, Texas. He's famous for the Welcome to Austin mural postcard that many of you may have seen in commercials or movies or seen yourselves in Austin. Anyways, he contacted me and he wanted to do some silk screen prints of some of my art. And he wanted to do this, but we didn't want to do something that was based on somebody else's character, so we swapped them some things around and came up with the name Death Betty and printed these posters. And we had three varieties. We had the single color, and then I believe this is 4-color. Look at that yellowish green, the day glow. It doesn't glow in the dark, but as it starts to get darker, it seems like it glows more and more. I'm trying to block the light here a little. Let's see. It seems like it's gonna glow, but it doesn't. And that sparkly purple is awesome too. So we just made these posters, and that's all it was gonna be. Just a fun art project. My signature, William Brackage. And then Billy did a variant version with a Bob Kane, Barbara Gordon face and some color halftones. You can see he swapped the black for yellow, which actually this yellow is underneath there. The black is on top, so he didn't actually swap, he just didn't apply the black over that. And what's funny is I didn't think I liked this at first, and this has actually been the more popular one. Shows what I know, eh? So, I had these 3 prints going. They were selling well at conventions. They got a lot of attention. People seemed to like them. I would sell these 2, and we would give this one away out on the freebie table, and it would often have, let's see, oh, this one does have our booth number, booth 421. And this was Billy's website and my website for promotion. And so yeah, they were doing well. People seemed to like it, and they wanted to know what was up with her because these were comic conventions, so people assumed it was a comic character. And, well, we decided to make it a comic character. Death Betty, 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 Death Betty. So we decided to make a comic. What would that be about? And who's this we? Well, that would be Adam Jackman and myself. Good friend Adam Jackman is a writer out of LA. He had mostly written for theater and for TV up until then. And we knew we had always wanted to do a comic together, and we thought that this would be the perfect project. So what we decided on was that the backstory would be that Betty here had dated Death. And we don't know what happened or why it happened, but Death dumps Betty. And this really, really ticks Betty off. Adam and I had both had jilted lovers in our lives, and people that had gone psycho after we've broken up with them, so it was something we could both console each other in and find comedy in. And here we had a chance to do an extreme version of this sort of revenge tale in a cartoon comedic fashion. So the story would take place after this, of course. And each issue is sort of one and done. You can read them in any order, things like that. So the second thing about the book, that it was sort of meant as a superhero parody. So it kind of looks like a superhero comic. There's action and things going on and, you know, explosions and violence and things like that. But she's not really a superhero. She's more of an anti-hero in the sense that she is saving people's lives because she's trying to ruin Death's career. You know, and his job is taking lives off to the afterworld. So she is saving people, but her reasons are not altruistic by any means. And another big inspiration for the book was Ernie Bushmiller's Nancy, an old comic strip about a young, precocious girl who's always out to get Sluggo, the neighborhood boy who she both has a crush on and wants to destroy. Shown in the example here. And you throw in our love of the old Marvel aesthetic with some big panels. And then the freedom to do fun, independent style stuff. And we had ourselves a comic. Now, once we have the idea, we have to figure out the format. How we're going to do this. Is it going to be big arcs or shorter stories, single issues, 2-issue arcs? What are we going to do? And we finally settled on doing short stories and short comics. So I think this first one is 12 pages followed by a 4-pager. And that's it. And the next issue, I think, is got one more short story. And then we also do previews and things like that, and bonus process material and things like that. So we decided to go short story because Adam hadn't written comics before, and it's really such a difficult medium no matter how much experience you have writing in other forms. And Adam's a great writer. He's read comics his entire life, but we felt that it would be easier to sort of step in, and while you're actively trying to get stuff done, you give yourself these small goals. And it's been really successful. It's been really fun. And the same goes with me. I haven't drawn that many comic books. So when I get the opportunity in between inking gigs, I'm a little bit slower and it takes longer to get 22 pages done. So if I can get 12 or 8 or 4 pages done, I feel pumped, I feel accomplished, and we're getting through stuff. And it also allows you to trim the fat and really get to the meat of what a story is or what a joke is. And even though you've set yourself up with limitations or boundaries, it actually guides you in the right direction to get things done. So then, after format comes presentation. Now, we wanted the inside front cover to be all the information, all the credits and everything like that. Sort of a funky image with everything being static and like TV static almost. And this pink stripe standing for, you know, one thing being different, representing Betty. And in Betty's world, everyone wears hoodies. They're sort of all emos, I guess. And every single person has a hoodie and a logo. And we sort of wanted her to be goth, but since it wasn't actual goth, we thought of it as like pop goth. We've since ditched this pop goth princess, but at the time I thought it was funny. So we go through one of the best colorists in the industry, Jean-Francois Bellieu. We've colored many independent projects together, and we've become friends, and we love working together. It's great having him on the team. And one of the first editors I worked with at Top Cow years ago when I broke out on my own was Joshua Kozine, and he's also been a good friend, and he co-runs a Larger World studio with Troy Petery and Dave Lamphere. And we were being published through Castle and Key, which was our friend Jay Gonzo's studio. I recommend checking out his book, La Mano del Destino. You can check him out on Twitter at La Mano Comic. I'll pop that on the screen. So, presentation. We decided to do chapter breaks. And here we have Death skating in. This is a multi-part print that I had broken up for chapter breaks. Chapter 1, this is why we can't have nice things. Then we go into the story. First story ends. sort of a middle part, chapter 2, the Dash and Dine. And the Dash and Dine is this rail car diner that is running on a rail car. There's the smoking section in the back here. So then this story ends, and we go into a preview for Driver and Shotgun, which we'll get to. Then we have a letter from Adam that we'll get to. And then the closing. Finish the presentation. Death skating off, maybe to start the cycle all over again. So, join me next time, and we'll go through and we'll read little bits, and we'll take a look at some of the art from 0 issue and issue 1. Both are out on Comixology now. Both are actually only $1. Don't be scared off by that $3.50 price. And it's no longer with Castle and Key. We still love them. We're only on our own because we wanted to start our own thing. It's now with Novelty Comics, and I'll throw that up on the screen. You can follow us on Twitter. We're always having fun giveaways. Check out the book. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this video. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And join me for part 2. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.
Stupid cat.